Hey y'all, it's November the 9th, 2016, and of course, just like everybody else, I want to talk to you real quick about the presidential election because a lot of people have a lot of questions, a lot of silly questions about the presidential election. And I want to break that all down in a very simple way because I'm a simple person. Alright, but before I address the silly questions, I want to explain to you something. I'm going to have to preface this by saying this. The world is a hard place to live in, alright? Everybody's going to understand that at certain points in their life. It's very hard. Very, very hard. Right? It's hard to be happy all the time. It's hard to be at peace. It's hard to feel peace within yourself. It's hard to be at peace with all the ugliness that's going on in the world. And it's always been like that. I mean, for as long as any of us can remember, it's been like that. Alright? And what we do to make ourselves happy is we do drugs. All of us, every last one of us, addicted to drugs. And the funny thing is we've been lied to about drugs. Drugs are everything, you understand? What I have to explain to you is that ice cream is drugs. Candy is drugs. A beautiful lady, that's drugs. Your child is a drug. Your parents are drugs. Your grandparents are drugs, alright? The sun, when you go outside and it's a beautiful sunny day, that's drugs. Alright? Also, another word for everything. Everything that makes you feel good. Drugs. That's what it is. You've been lied to about it. I'm here telling you the truth. Everything is drugs. You go on the internet, you see funny videos. That's drugs. Another word for that is idols. All of these idols, all these drugs can kill you. Believe it or not, you lay out in the sun too long and give you cancer. Alright? They can all kill you, but even worse, they can send you straight to hell if you let them. Alright, it's all drugs. One of the worst, one of the most powerful drugs in the world is the television. It's one of the only drugs that exists that will completely manipulate what you think reality is. I mean, I'm talking about crack cocaine can't do that. I'm talking about crystal methamphetamines can't change reality for you. Television can. It's an absurd drug. And it can kill you. And it'll send you to hell. Here's the thing about it. Drugs make you happy. Drugs make me happy. And the happiness is temporary. The happiness is quite temporary because it don't matter how much crack you do. You run out of crack and you probably won't be happy about it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe rollerblading is your drug of choice. It doesn't matter how much rollerblading you do. You run out of rollerblades, your happiness is gonna leave you. Unfortunately. You see, these are all idols. You can worship ice cream and you can worship going to the movies. But when all of that runs out, if it ever runs out for you, you're going to lose your happiness. You're going to lose the peace within your heart. Everything on earth, let's just keep it simple. Everything on earth that makes you happy is a drug. And you've been lied to. God, one who created everybody and everything, he's not a drug. He'll keep you happy and fulfilled forever and ever for your whole life. In fact, throughout eternity. And that's about as simple as I can make it. That being said, television is one of the worst drugs ever created in that it will change your reality. It'll spoon feed reality to you. It's a drug. It's probably the most popular drug in the world as well. Alright. So, people got a lot of questions. Silly, just useless questions that are boggling their mind right now about how did we get Donald Trump as a president. Alright, number one, he spits hot fire. Alright, I've seen him do it over and over and over again. He's not perfect, we don't agree on everything at all, but he spits hot fire. He represents change, and it's resonated with a lot of people. That's a pretty simple answer. He won by a landslide would be an even more accurate answer as to why he's a president. Alright, so number one, that is what happened. Alright, television has been lying to you as hard as it can. Alright. The question is, how did we come to this? That Donald Trump could be the president of America? How did we come to this? The short answer, the most simplest answer is the television. The television done that to you. And actually, I figured that out a long time ago. It wasn't even me that figured it out. I was reading a book years ago. It was a book that most people ain't going to want to read because their drug of choice is the television. And the book was called The 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television. It was written by a man named Jerry Mander. And it was the book went into a lot of different details about why people should eliminate television out of their life. The main reason being like what I said, because it'll create a false reality all around you that you'll believe in. You'll believe in it more than God. In fact, you'll stop believing in God the more you dive into the world of television. Television done it to you. And this man, Jerry Mander, he wrote it very clearly. He actually addressed the question that you're having. This was a book that was written before I was born, I believe. And he put it out quite simply. The television will give you your presidential candidates regardless of what you want. Because here's the thing. You are addicted like a dope fiend to that television. You can't help it. I know people who leave the television on when they're not even home. You know what I'm saying? Straight addicted to it. And so it's going to decide who is your president, basically. Because you like to be spoon-fed your information now. People have been spoon-feeding your information and stuff. If the television never brought up the presidential election, bet you most of these people would not even have an opinion on it. They wouldn't even know it occurred. Most of these people out here chanting and holding up signs would be straight oblivious. But it's because the television keeps bringing up the idea of a presidential election that you keep believing that you somehow have choices. You don't have choices. In lots of cases, you don't want choices at all. But the television keeps bringing it up. And Jerry Mander, he put it very eloquently, He was talking about as long as you're addicted, and we're talking about society as a whole, as long as society is straight up and down addicted to television, you don't have no choice in who's going to be your presidential candidates. This is how television works. It will tell you what you will choose from. So now a lot of people are asking, well, how did this happen? Because of the television. Because y'all are addicted to it. Me personally, I don't need a leader. I never needed one. I don't want one. And at the same time, shoot, I do drugs, but honestly, I don't like the television. It's not my drug of choice. So basically, stay away from it. Alright, the television is the answer to your question. How did we get here? The television brought you here. Television is the reason why you even have an opinion. Most people out there, most of these disillusioned people hate America to begin with. They think it's a very racist place. In fact, it's the exact opposite. But the television keeps telling them so. And so they believe it. They believe whatever the television will tell them because they're fiending for fulfillment in their life and getting it from the television. And so, next time presidential election comes around, you're going to notice probably be on the television, and you'll probably be asking yourself the same question. How did we get here? You got here because you were led there like a little baby. Alright, like a lamb to the slaughter. You were led there and you don't even know why you have an opinion. You don't know why you're screaming and running down the street. You don't know why. It's because you're addicted to the television. Right? I'm not saying stop watching, you do whatever you want. I don't care what you do. You're gonna do drugs. Me too. Kind of makes me happy sometimes. But ultimately, that's all temporary. It's temporary happiness. You know who offers a permanent happiness? It's the God of the Bible. And a lot of y'all, most people in the world are going to lie to themselves forever and ever. And ever and ever. Shoot, good luck with that, man. Good luck with that. And they're going to be asking themselves silly, silly questions. Forever and ever until the bitter end. And I'll be over here. As simple as I am. As dumb as I am. I'm plenty dumb. I would just be laughing at y'all the whole time. Laughing at y'all as you ask the same questions over and over and over, over and over and over, and you get fed little spoonfuls of lies to yourself all day long, forever and ever. And you ask, all the lies that you swallow make you ask, well, how did this happen? Well, I'm sorry. It happened because you asked for it to happen. So ignorant that you don't realize what you're asking for. Anyways, Jesus will save you. I know you don't want to believe me and stuff, but I have a responsibility to tell you this. I want you to be peaceful in your heart. Anyways, tribulation, we're balls deep in it. We're balls deep up in it. It's bad, it's gonna get worse. Most people are gonna ask themselves silly, silly questions. Forever and ever. It's November the 9th. 2016.